Seems it never rains in southern.
Happy hump day. A little bit of progress on all cars in here today. 03 titanium M5. Bumper's not on yet because it takes like 3 days to put a bumper on for some reason, but it's nearly fully assembled. And this is the original bumper that was refinished. It's not perfect. I didn't notice some of these imperfections until I flipped it over and started putting the gasket on. But somewhere in here, there's like little marks right there in that reflection. I guess that was a stone chip that wasn't adequately repaired when the bumper was stripped down. Over here, got some sort of paint run. They say that's as good as it can get. Got a little mark there, just a handful of things like that. So I talked to the customer and he's like, well, we can get a new bumper and paint that and make it perfect. And then I'm gonna wanna PPF it. And I'm gonna be driving the car to and from Denver, Colorado once or twice a year. So it probably just makes sense to be happy with 98%, put it on and know that it's going to get some chips in it and it's not going to be perfect. And the reality is that's life. If you're going to use a car, it's not going to be 100% perfect. It is annoying to spend a whole lot of money and get a bumper back with obvious imperfections in it, but so it goes. I ordered fog lights about 12 days ago. One showed up the next day. The other one had to come from Maryland, and for some reason that's 10 days away. So that'll go in when the bumper's on the car. He's replacing all the impact strips, not only on both bumpers, but the doors and fender as well. Those are here, but we're gonna wait until after paint correction and polishing and ceramic coating to install all those trims. It'll just be easier for them to polish everything without plastic in the way. Low miler 2001, parcel shelf is back in almost completely. We're running into a bolt issue with the rear buckles that didn't need to come out the first time, so that was a mistake. But we'll get those in tomorrow and the seat back. Shelf is in. Sunroof or sunshade screws are tight. C-pillars and lights are all back together. Side bolsters back in. So that'll be done tomorrow. New center dash vent went in today. I fixed some improperly installed dashboard trims, and the pedal box sealing was wrong, so that's in. Fog light cluster or fog light bezel in the cluster trim broke. I mentioned that the other day. It's in, almost said Italy. It's in Germany, so we have to wait for that. I noticed today that the clutch stop is broken. We're just seeing a little thing on the chassis, so I've ordered one of those. It's $4. It'll be in tomorrow. And Mike worked a whole bunch on the Sterling 02 today. 120, 130,000 mile Sterling car. It's been in here a few times. Battery box is out, so we can do differential bushing. Stiff's getting resealed. Unicorn egg in the front. I think the drive shaft is okay. This is a car with 4-1 headers on it, which is kind of weird. I'm not sure exactly what these are. They look to be pretty good with these expansion springs, though. Of course, this was a major fight. We thought it would be easiest to take them off here, so we loosened up those clamps and pulled and twisted and tapped and took heat to it and just could not get that to separate there. So we ended up undoing these clamps and taking it off like that right in front of the cats. Here's the diff. This will be resealed on the bench tomorrow. Looks a little dirty, a little crusty. Customer states reseal differential. I don't see any horribly obvious dripping wet sort of leaks, though it's definitely been seeping and all the dirt is sticking in the oil that's on there. Yesterday I mentioned the bumper went on carbon black and it is looking great. It went over for polishing this morning. A couple little imperfections came right out. A couple little scratches from me just touching it, and it scratches because it's freaking black paint. So that's done. The pork chops are in. This car came in without any belly pans. So it is almost ready, except it's only got 3 shoes right now. Reason being, this rear right tire had those 2 screws close to the sidewall. I was unfortunately correct. The tire's not repairable. We've ordered a new one. It's due tomorrow. Hopefully we'll have that back by the end of the day tomorrow. We'll do our PDI and get this out of here. Speaking of done cars, we got rid of the X5, we got rid of the 335i, and we got rid of that Orient Blue 540. So there's still 3 cars out back, but with the exhaust in here, there's no more room to move stuff in. But the good news is we're kind of clearing out house. So 6:30, I'm gonna go home and shower and probably head over to Enfuego tonight. House update, post Enfuego. Dinner was fantastic. Mike and I came back and played some GTA. It is 11:22. They were here for the majority of the afternoon, per my understanding, and got a lot of the drywall work and then the texturing done on the walls. So let's get some light in here. Got drywall here, got the metal corners. I don't know what that is, some sort of debris. Whole house is a mess, but texturing is on. That's all drying right now. Got the heat on in the house tonight to expedite the drying process. To come back tomorrow, check out all the texturing, and then proceed with paint if everything looks right. So can't really tell there were holes there. Up in that ceiling, lower wall here, coloring looks weird as it dries. The light spots are dry, the dark spots are still wet. Looks like it's going to match. It just needs to be painted to match the rest of it. This is all just straight drywall color right now, and whatever sort of material they use for the texture and then the knockdown finish. But they're doing kind of the entire wall to blend everything in and make it look as seamless as possible. Picked the paint out already, so they should have that for tomorrow. And then the carpeting is in and ready to be scheduled. So all of this is going to be replaced, the entire living room into the dining room. And we're going to do the stairs too, so it all matches. But that's out of pocket, so good progress. The texture wasn't perfect to begin with. The way this was put in, 40 years ago when the house was built was probably the same process, but it is starting to look more like a house, which is good news. The cabinets, they found a good match, so we've got to approve that, and then they'll be able to come in and get the cabinets back in maybe this week, I don't know. But that's it for me. It's 11:30. I'm exhausted. Bed's calling my name. So tomorrow's Thursday. I'll talk to you guys then. Night.